Hey there everybody, this is Dan Strong with Excel VBA is Fun. Today I want to show you some answers to a lot of questions that we've had recently on taking Microsoft Excel and planting information into Microsoft Word. Now, if you look in the video description and if you look right now on the screen, you'll see a link to my first video which breaks down step by step kind of the starter points, but today I want to delve into a lot of other points. For example, a lot of you have asked, how do you open up an existing Word document that's already been saved and closed? In the first video, we just opened Word from scratch and we created a new document using Excel's Visual Basic. Now we're going to learn how to open one that we already have worked on, and we're going to learn how to go to certain places in the document and fill it with whatever we want it to say, and maybe move on to another place in the document. And how to go left, right, up, or down. We're going to learn how to use the .find function so that we can find a spot and go from there. We're going to learn how to insert text or type text, insert at the beginning of the document, at the beginning or end of the selection, inserting text and things like that. So let's get started. Let's speed through this. Basically, what we'll be starting with is a template that was created by Jeted on an Osgrig forum, and I'll have the link to that forum thread in the video description as well. Anyway, we're going to start with that. So I'm going to hit Alt F11. We're going to go straight there. He created this as an example for someone who asked a question in a forum. It's a very famous one. I'm sure a bunch of you have already checked this one out. We're going to start there and we're going to work our way forward. So I'm going to start modifying this. Basically what this does, I'm going to hit F8. We'll see what it's supposed to do. The first instruction is setting WRD app to be equal to this create object word.application. By the way, just for kicks, you need to know that you need to go, hold on, let's stop this. Go to Tools, go to References, and you need to scroll way down to the M for Microsoft, and this one will be down there, Microsoft Word 14.0 Object Library. You need to click on that and select it, otherwise none of this stuff will work. You'll get an error. So, now that that's out of the way, let's hit F8 and go through this macro. By the way, don't worry, you don't have to type all this out. You can download this workbook. So just relax and just study this, okay? So the first step, when I hit F8 past this point, it creates a word, but it's in the background. Then we take Word app and make it visibility equal to true, so now it's visible. Now we're setting Word doc to equal Word app.documents.add, so it's adding a new document. Well, we've already seen that. It creates a new document like this, and what this one, I'll just show you the normal version. What it does is it goes from 1 to 100, and it says here is sample test line 1, and the next one will be 2. So using the Word doc, which is word.document, or yeah, content dot insert after. So that's basically at the very end of the document. It'll insert, here is a sample test line number and the number 1. So if I hit F8, it'll show you here's a sample test line 1, and then content dot insert paragraph after. That means basically hitting the enter key. So if you look at the cursor right now, it's right there, and if we hit enter, it would look like this. And I'm going to hit backspace to show you in Visual Basic. Content.insert paragraph after, hit F8, it does the same thing. And we use the next one, and it'll say 2, enter key, 2, 3, enter key, 4, enter key, etc. So let's start messing around with that right now. We're using Word doc, which we've already set to equal the Word.application. So if you wanted to string it all along really long, it would be Word.application.documents.add, or at least, let's see, I don't know, .documents, I guess. And that's where we get Word doc. Word doc could also equal, okay, here's the first part. Is we want to show you how to open up an existing one. So let's go ahead and comment out that, and let's uncomment this part. Instead of setting Word doc to equal the Word app.documents.add, a new one, we would do Word app.documents.open, and then we're going to give a file location. This one is in C, and I made a folder called folder, and the document I saved as test1.docm. M just means it's a macro enabled. I saved a macro or two onto that document. So anyway, let's go ahead and open that one up, and I'll close this. Don't save. Okay, so set Word doc to equal blah blah blah, that right there. Let's see here. Might need to start from scratch. Yes, we need to open up Word and make it visible and all that. Then, here we go. It opens up test1.docm. So here's the one that I've been messing around with here. As you can see, I've added a few things there. Let's go one by one. So that was lesson 1, how to open up an existing document from, say, the C drive or something. So use .open instead of .add. So there's lesson 1 down. Lesson 2 is how do you add information or text. Well, that was, you can use the insert after, or you can use the application selection type text, I believe. Anyway, we'll go into that. We'll go into that right now. So a few things about insert after and insert before. We're going to review that really quick. So let's show you what those two do. So with Word doc, we'll do the from 1 to 100. We're going to say content.insert after. Here's a sample test line 1. So if I hit F8, let's just show you where that ended up right here. Okay. Now, what if I had said content.insert before, which is another thing. If you hit content dot, it'll show you the different options. Insert before, and then let's zoom back up to here and see what that would have done. Content on insert before. Here's a sample blah blah blah. So hit F8. Oh, where is it? Well, it inserted it before the entire document, so it actually shoved it right here. Whoop, right there. So that's what insert before does versus insert after. I don't particularly like using those methods, and I'll show you some other things here. The insert paragraph after is just like hitting the enter key. If you want to use that, you may. So let's go through some other methods now. Now, another thing that you might want to do, you're opening up a document and you have a particular area you want to go to. You could use go to if you know a particular line that you want to go to. Like when you hit Control G and you want to go to and you want to go to line, let's say you wanted to go to line 8, and you click go to, we could record that and see what that does, how to use go to. In fact, let's do that. Go to Developer tab, record macro, and we're going to call this go to line 8, just so you can know how to use that method. So we're going to hit Control G for go to. We're going to type in, we're going to say we want line and we want 8, and we're going to hit go to. We're going to hit close and stop recording. Now we're going to go to macros. We want to see what's up with go to line 8, so click edit. And what did it say? Selection.goto. What? Well, word go to line. Which? Word go to first. Count equals 8. So, yeah, so I think this one-liner right there would actually cover that. Using this go to, selection.goto. We're going to use selection.find in a moment, so I'm going to close that out and ignore that. Okay, here's the cool stuff. I would say it'd be more common to not necessarily use a particular line number, because those may change depending on if people hit enter. I would say using the find would be really intuitive. For example, what I did here, just for example, using number 5. Let's just do Control F. Control F is find, of course. So if you go over here and you type the #5 and hit enter, it's going to find the first occurrence of the #5, which is right there. So, and I went ahead and recorded that and checked out the code. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. So here's where we are. We're in this insert paragraph deal. And let's just say that instead of doing that loop from 1 to 100, we want to do some other fun stuff. So let's just comment all this out. And we'll go here-ish. Let's say we want to... We're still within this with Word doc, so we could put put a period and automatically have some things that we can do. So let's go to dot application. There's some cool things you can do with the document dot application. So let's do Word doc dot application dot selection. And even if you don't have a selection, if your cursor is blinking on that screen, you have sort of a selection. So don't worry about having to highlight multiple characters. Application.selection.find. Here's where the find is hiding. Application.selection.find. And we're going to say dot text and just put a equal sign, and we're going to have the text be equal to #5, just like we searched on the Control F for find. So the find.text equals #5. That's what we're searching for, okay? And then so we're going to put another line. In fact, we can go ahead and see what that does. Let's just click away, and then we'll say hit F8, and here's, if we click here, let's see here. Is there another instance of that? Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah. So it's fine. It's loaded locked and loaded what it needs to. The finding text. It's like you just typed it in the text bar, but you didn't hit find. You didn't click on the go button. So now we're going to click on the go button. Dot application. Dot selection. Dot find. Dot execute. And that's just like clicking the find button. So it's loaded up the text it needs to find, and now we're clicking the execute button. So hit F8 and zoom. It is now, it hasn't done anything. Well, that's interesting. Find at execute. Well, maybe when I commented out this, it screwed something up. Let's start fresh. Okay, don't save. Go ahead and exit that out. Let's hit F8, F8, F8. Okay, opened up our test document. And now application.selection.find.text equals #5, and we're executing the find daily majigger, and look, it's found it. See there? It found #5. So now we can rock and roll with that. So we can use the insert at the insert after, or even type text to navigate from here. So let's explore a couple of those. So now that we're here, let's go ahead and say now found. Let's insert text after. So we're going to say dot application dot selection dot insert after. Okay. And what are we going to insert? You can hit a space and just type in whatever you want. Hello there! Exclamation mark. End quote. So application dot selection, where we have selected, dot insert after. Okay. So we could put hello there. So let's take a peek. So we know that it's highlighted right there. So if I hit let's see. Let's zoom the marker up here. Hit F8. And now it says #5, hello there, exclamation mark. So, and now that whole range is selected. How about that? Let's see. Whoops. Okay, so that was interesting. Let's go ahead and undo that change. So now that we've got #5 still selected, and that's where we want to look at. So here's another method. Instead of using insert after, we could use type text. So application.selection.type text, and then we can put same thing, just put some string there. Of course, this would actually type over the selection instead of insert after would insert it directly after wherever your selection is. So this is a different method of copying over, basically. So hit F8, it actually replaced the selection with hello there, and is no longer selected. So let's undo that as well. So that's the type text, and of course insert after or insert before does just what you think it would do, inserts after or before. So let's do the .insert before, and I imagine hello there will appear immediately before the #5. So let's try that. Zoom your little marker up here and hit F8. Hello there, ! #5. Very cool. So that's exactly what we wanted it to do. So what we've done, we've opened up a saved workbook, or excuse me, a saved Microsoft Word document, which is one thing everybody's been wanting to do. The next thing that we've done is we've learned how to locate a specific portion of text. In this case, it was the #5. It was a specific thing that was very special to that area. So you may have a certain marker that so you know where you want your macro to start typing onto. That's important. You've learned how to insert immediately before or immediately after the selected area, or even replace it using type text. And the next thing that we need to explore, the pretty much the last navigation technique, I would say, is using the arrow keys, using move left, move right, move up, or move down, which is the same as saying left, right, up, or down on the arrow keys. So let's hit the, let's just undo that there, hit delete, and we'll reselect our #5 so we're ready to go. So okay, so forget that stuff there. The next thing we need to do is up, down, left, or right arrows. So let's explore that. Basically what we're going to do is, let's try .application.selection.move, and we have actually there is you can actually go to .end or .end key, and they do a couple different things. Let's explore .end. If you did .end, it's just like hitting Control right. Whoa, not .end. Selection dot. Maybe it's end of. Let's try that. Maybe that'll give an error too. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Where are we selected? First of all, right there. So let's go to selection.end of. Hit F8. And let's see where our mouse is. So it's just like hitting Control right. If I was selected here and I hit Control right, it would take me to the end of this next period. Just like if you're here and you can Control right, Control right, Control right, Control right, Control right. So here's the application.end of, or .selection.end of is taking this selection here and Control right arrow. It takes you right here. So if that's the navigation that you want, then use that. Then there's also, instead of .end of, there's selection.end key, and that's just like hitting the end key on your keyboard. It'll take you to the very edge of that line. So let's explore that. Hit F8, and let's see where that took us. So the end key actually just took you to the very edge of that particular row, that particular line. Let's highlight #5 once again and see another option here. So that was application.selection.end key. Let's explore some more. Now, application.selection.move. Let's do the move right arrow. Move right. And then we want the we want the unit to equal, actually the unit is going to be word character. And then put a comma, and let's have the count. Control equals 1. So you want to go using characters, and you want to go 1 to the right. Move right, characters going 1 to the right. Okay, so let's explore that option here. Let's get word in the background. So we want to go the right arrow key 1 to the right would take us to the very edge of the 5. Let's explore. Hit F8. And let's click over here, and yes, it did take us right there. So if we had the unit be the character, that's still, but then we wanted the count to be equal to, let's say, 3 for some reason, if you wanted it that way. Let's just do that now. Count equals 3. So it should take us 3 exactly characters to the right. And let's see, 1, 2, 3. If I hit left arrow, 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's where we were. So that's how you take the right arrow key 3 times, is to put the count equal to 3. Same thing with move left. Let's go over to the left using characters. Let's go over to the left 6 times just for fun. So let's do that right now. Hit F8. And now we see that we've gone 6 characters to the left. Now, going up and down is a little different. I'm going to go ahead and comment this out. And we're going to say up or down. And let's do that. Dot application, dot selection once again. But then it's move, let's say move, move down. And the unit colon equals is going to be a WD word line instead of word character. So WD line, and then the count can still be control equals, it can still be 1 or however many lines that you want to go up or down. So we're using characters to go left or right, and then we're going lines in particular for how many we want to go up or down. Got it? Okay. So let's go down 2 lines from our current selection. And we're right here, and let's go down 2 lines. Here we go. And hit F8, and let's take a look at Word. It is now 2 lines lower. 1, 2. Very good. And same thing, I think you can use your imagination and say that that would be move up to go however many lines up or down that you want. And that is a lot of navigation techniques that you can now use to go to where you want. Probably if there's enough questions, we'll review how to go into a particular table or particular form field that you want. But for now, I think that'll set you guys off with a lot more homework. Finally, at the end of Jetted, at the end of his macro here, just to review, he said if the directory, if the folder path exists for C folder my new Word document .doc is not equal to blank, so if this directory exists, then delete it, which is kill. Kill is delete in a lot of programming. It wants you to delete that particular document, and then .save as, the same thing. So if it's already there, then delete it and save over it with the new one that we've just created at the same name and same location. And then .close, and then the Word application itself .quit. And then he went ahead and set these 2 variables to equal nothing. That is the gist of it. If I left something out, I do apologize. It is just past midnight, so I'm a little tired. Been traveling all day, so thank you for watching, and God bless.